Rusame reader, Crow Song, and today I will be reading to you from Royal Guard by Wright. Now, on to Chapter 21, Water Fountain. The whole room was frozen. Literally everyone had a "did I just hear that right?" expression plastered on their faces. Having a male ask another male to dance hardly ever happened, and not in a big event like this either. America stayed in the same pose, but lifted his head slightly to see the Russian's reaction. His reaction was flawless and calm as usual. The edges of his mouth twitched as if trying to repress something. Russia unconsciously lifted his hand and placed it in America's open, extended hand. The prince's face immediately beamed with a slight red hue. A grin appeared on his face, and he led his guard off to the middle of the dance floor. The music continued playing regardless, as the dancers spared some side looks as they continued to dance as well. "You can dance, right?" America whispered to the other as he led Russia to the dance floor. "I can. I learnt it from watching you," he replied instantly. Is that so? Then I'm guessing you only know the leading version of the dance then." The American hummed for a moment. "Okay then, I decided I'll let you lead." They finally reached a spot. Russia hesitantly placed his right hand on America's left hip and the other in each other's hands. Then they started to dance. It seemed like all eyes were on them, yet America oddly didn't care at all. Russia, on the other hand, already had so many thoughts flashing through his head. "What am I doing? He's supposed to dance with Japan, not me. Why did I even accept? It's like my body moved on its own before I processed what happened." He continued the dance in deep thought, yet he couldn't help but admire the American's beauty and grace while dancing. "You're actually pretty good," America cut in. "Well, I do quite enjoy dancing with him like this," the Russian thought again. Russia actually found himself enjoying this moment out of all. Just the fact that he is the only one in the prince's eyes right now made him overjoyed. He feels like his face would loosen any second. It was especially hard keeping a straight face recently. He didn't know why, but that's just what was happening. Both their hearts raced at an extreme pace, skipping a few beats occasionally. As the waltz came to a close, everyone went back to their spots. "Well, that was fun, right?" America glanced at him as they walked. "Well, I enjoyed it too. Let's do more things like that." The American smiled. "I have to go." Russia suddenly dashed through the crowd, leaving America behind, all confused. "Ah, shit, he's probably gonna be mad at me. How awesome. Good job, America. You messed up again." He mentally slapped himself. The Russian pushed through the crowd into the back bathroom, where he entered and locked the door behind him. "Shit, shit, 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 shit." He kept repeating it in his head as his face turned a bright red hue. Russia slowly slid down onto the ground and sat there with his face buried in his hand for a while, waiting for the heat in his face to subside. He got up abruptly and splashed his face in water, facing the overly fancy mirror on the wall. Only did he realize he was smiling to himself like a dork. "Ah, shit, stop smiling." The tricolored country tried to stiffen his face with no prevail. "This behavior is simply unacceptable. My ancestors will probably slap me over 1,000 times for this when I die." Eventually, his face did gradually stiffen, and finally his aloof and cold expression was back, but a smile still threatened to appear on his face. I should probably get back to the prince. He left the bathroom and searched for the prince around the ballroom. He didn't find the prince, though, so Russia started to panic a little. Trying to find your prince? A voice appeared from behind him. Germany, Russia said quietly. He walked out just a few minutes ago. Germany took a sip of his wine. Thanks. Russia immediately rushed out to leave. By the way, nice dancing, the German said before the Russian left. Russia walked around outside of the ballroom and searched around for a while before finding the prince standing next to the water fountain, way at the back of the palace. America hadn't noticed Russia walk over. He was staring at the fountain as the moonlight illuminated his features. Prince. Oh, hey Russia. Didn't expect you to find me anyway. I'm sorry for abruptly walking away. I didn't answer your question before, did I? The Russian did a 90-degree bow. I enjoyed the dance as well. Suddenly, the prince started to choke. America, are you okay? He rushed over on high alert. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. America turned away. A red blush lightly dusted his face. They stood in front of each other, face to face. Well, since you enjoyed it, let's dance again. We didn't get the first half of the dance, did we? As if on cue, the faint sounds of the second round of the waltz started to play. They immediately started to dance, watching each other intensely as both of their features glowed under the moonlight. Russia lifted America into the air in the middle of the dance. Whoa, you have nice moves, America chuckled as they continued to dance. Through the red blushes on their faces, it was almost plainly obvious. The faint sounds of drops of water of the fountain resonated in the air along with the waltz. The crickets seemed to cheer them on. The grass and trees emanated a fresh and refreshing scent. As the waltz stopped, they still continued to dance for another 10 minutes before realizing the song was over. Both of them were mesmerized and lost track of their surroundings. Both only paid attention to each other. America stood in front of Russia, only a small distance away. Thank you for the amazing night. The Russian smiled warmly at the prince. A ton of things flashed through America's mind. One of them was, fuck it. America stood on his tiptoes and closed the gap between them with a kiss under the moonlight. And that is the end of this chapter. I hope you've enjoyed. Before I close this off, I would like to invite you guys to join the Discord. The link is down in the description. That's all I really have for you today, so I hope you have a nice day, night, whatever it is for you. Enjoy the rest of your time, and I will see you tomorrow.